I was like hearing an echo of this live. Is it working? Oh no. There you go. Okay. So we're back. Hey guys, I'm gonna wait for my friend Bianca. We had some technical issues. I don't know why I was hearing an echo of myself earlier and now it is working. Let me just reply again. Tonight's topic is very interesting and spicy. How to deal with difficult people, especially when you're working as a nurse. Okay. And I really feel like this is the second, if not the number one. I think when it comes to working as a nurse, there's like two main, for me at least, there's two main heavy thoughts that weigh upon me when it comes to going to work. And let's see if it works now. Okay, it works. Okay, perfect. Okay. Let me check if Bianca's watching right now. Oh, there you go. I think you're there. All right, welcome. I have my friend Bianca here with us. By the way, feel free to ask a question if you have any questions. I can't really type anything because I'm using my phone for effectivity and upload, but I will try to remember. Thanks for being live. Absolutely. Thank you for joining me on this Friday night. All right, let's get to it. Are you excited for this topic? This very important topic, because when it comes to nursing practice, there's really these two thoughts that are really heavy, that discourages us from picking up an extra shift. One of them is like, oh my God, what if it's difficult? Meaning the conditions of the patient, I might, unalive someone by mistake or whatever. And there's this other big issue, difficult people. And it's not just the patient, like, oh my God, is the patient difficult? No, is the family, is the significant others of the patient difficult? Are your coworkers difficult? Are other parts of the medical team difficult? And this is, yeah, and that's why it's really important for me to talk about, especially for nurses who are starting and they're nervous, like, oh. And when you're nervous, you're really stressed out, and your stress manifests falling hair, looking older than you are, and just other higher cortisol levels, etc., etc. All right, let's get to it. In my experience, I I always try my best to be fair with people, with people I don't know, especially at the hospital, and not just the hospital, but in places of business or just in general. I do try to sympathize and literally just put myself in their shoes just for a brief moment. And I guess one example is, and I'm sure you have encountered this, a mother of a child, and the child is the patient. And of course, Tara. And and it's the same with school nursing too. The parents are really on top of things and are on top of, like a really helicopter parent mode. And I understand that. And although it kind of gets to you when they just keep on repeating and repeating what they're requesting for. Sorry, these are my dogs. I just imagine myself as, I remember my sisters and their kids, and how mama bear they are, how careful, how they really look after the safety of their kids, and that's the priority. Like, they will do anything for their kids. And I bear that in mind. I'm just like, okay, they really love their kids, and and my role as a school nurse or as a nurse is to really be their extension. All right. Sorry, I think I'm all over the place. Sometimes I do these topics on the spot. There, shh, come on. All right. So, number one, when you have difficult people, either as a coworker or the work itself, or the patient, or the doctor, remember this: you have the right to remain silent, and silence is more powerful. So, if someone is giving you attitude, just be quiet and pretend that it didn't affect you. Okay, and just do your job. Do what you're paid to do. All right. Number two is you're a nurse. You're not customer service. Although a part of your duties is to have an element of customer service, correct? But if something is going wrong and it's not really your responsibility, you can you can just chill and calm down and not fight for your hospital or your facility till the death. It's like, dude, just chill. If someone is complaining about bad service for this and that, I know it's so easy for us to take it personal, right? Because we're at the receiving end, especially us nurses. Problems with pharmacy, problems with maintenance, problems with the kitchen, with the diet. Whew, it could get to us, and that's just the job. That's just a part of being a nurse. Of course, you always have the option to walk away. Just say, excuse me, I just need to check on something. Meaning to set a boundary, to set limitations on how much you can take in feedback. Or just bear in mind, what is the feedback process for your facility or hospital? Is there a feedback form that they can fill out, for their frustrations, or just immediately refer them to your supervisor? Really, like, your job as a nurse is your responsibility to the patients, their safety, making sure their medications are given on time, their treatments are given on time. But this feedback that's not really helping with the safety or whatever of the patient, that should go to your supervisor, okay? Not you. And also be mindful of your bandwidth, meaning how much you can tolerate really feedback and just intense people and intense situation. And just be aware of that, because please don't lose your cool. Don't lose your cool, because you could get fired. You could get fired and then you lose your job. And that means you lose and they win. They is whoever you think is not on your side. All right? And the game is so different from Philippine nursing, American nursing, and UK nursing. Because, for example, I worked in London for 4.5 years as a nurse, and in a way, because I worked in the NHS, it's socialized healthcare. Socialized healthcare. It means the facility or the system has your back. The system has your back. Because patients are patients. But if you're in a private hospital, or if you're in the States and you work in the private sector, the patients are customers. And what is always being taught in Customer Service 101? The customer is always right. And is it really worth losing your job? Is it really worth not having a reference to have when you apply for another job? It's not worth it. Okay? So let's do a quick recap. Remember, you have the right to remain silent. Seem unaffected. If someone is throwing attitude, just stay calm. And you might wonder, Dan, but what do you mean stay calm? Like, can you give us more advice? Fine. This is what I do. This. Number one is, when I face them, I try to not blink my eye. So I don't blink my eye. I look at them. Look at them and just focus your sight on one of their eyes. Don't keep doing this and that. There is another strategy where you look at them on the forehead, but that's kind of aggressive. That's too much. Now, I know that looking at them without blinking is a bit passive aggressive, but believe me, just looking at them away from their eyesight and here, it's kind of too aggressive. So just focus on one side of their eyes, and as they're talking, just look at them and do not blink your eye. And then another tip, once they stop talking, allow for silence. Allow for their words that they've thrown at you to settle down, and then respond. Okay? Don't blink your eye. Look at one of their eyes only. Silence after they talk, and then you respond, and do your best to keep it short. Keep your responses short and simple. And don't argue. Just say, I agree with you. You know you're right. And I agree with you. I agree with you. You're right. I'm gonna add this one to it. I know you're not gonna like this, but just say sorry. I'm sorry. But it's not my fault. Just say it. Do it as a job. Okay? Because that'll get you out of a lot of trouble. So someone comes in, a doctor with attitude, they're throwing the charts around, they're talking like they're Miranda Priestley. So what do? You do the opposite of the people in the office of Miranda Priestley. You don't panic. You don't act like I had this chicken. You just stay calm. Okay. All right, that's your orders? Okay. Okay, doc. You don't have to. You don't get extra points or extra pay to be like this. Yes. Oh, yeah. By the way, did you know that an indicator of... no, okay, this is not fair to say because I was about to say that an indicator of incompetence is niceness. I shouldn't say that. It's more of like when people don't know what to do, when they're not sure of things, they're nice. They're nice. So when they're not, say, I don't want to use the word incompetent, but I guess when they don't have the skills, that's what they resort to doing, being nice. Now for you, if you're not sure about what to do, just be honest with yourself. Ask for help, right? You don't go to work to impress people. You go to work to work. And what's your priority? Patient safety at all times. Okay? So we're nearing our 15-minute mark, and I know I've had a lot of intro topics. 1 second. Tara, what happened? Come down. Okay. Alright, I'm back. I had to bring down my pug. She needs to drink water, and she's having arthritis. Anywho, so yeah, that is how I deal with difficult people. Have I ever had, like, if you're wondering, have I ever had like a face-to-face confrontation? I think the answer is, if ever I had a confrontation, it's more of just for those who were confused in the middle of the night post-op, and I would get like physically assaulted, etc. Or yeah, but nothing really, nothing that's from a family member or what. I may have had a situation where I may have made a joke and have caused offense, but I immediately apologized. It's not worth it. And you know you're gonna apologize. You know you're gonna apologize. So my advice to you is, if you're really pissed off, get a journal or write it on your note app, on your note apps on your phone. Believe me, because you know you're gonna apologize. You know that. And it's not worth the stress of finding another job, because every job in nursing is almost always the same. And you're gonna meet almost always the same kind of people. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Hmm? And it's better to be prepared, to know how to handle yourself in these different situations. Right? And yeah, just be mindful of your bandwidth. How much feedback can you take? No, ask your manager, ask your supervisor, what's the process for feedback from patients or their family, right? Because whether you like it or not, nurses are at the front lines. You are front facing, you're client facing. So you're gonna take a lot of heat. So just say, I agree. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Today at work, my principal asked, "Hey Daniel, I emailed your supervisor a week ago. I haven't received a response yet." And this email was about requesting for 2 EpiPens in school. And as I've worked as a school nurse for 4 years, and the policy has always been only one EpiPen, stock EpiPen at school. And I've asked this for my supervisors before, different supervisors, and they all said like that's just the policy of one. And then when I was talking to the principal was like, "Daniel, but what if something happens while we wait for the next for the replacement EpiPen to come after the first one is being used?" And I was like initially explaining like, "Oh, but everyone usually students do bring their own EpiPens." And like, "Yeah, but sometimes there are students who can't, they can't afford, etc., etc." And I'm just like, Daniel, why are you trying to explain or defend the policy when I'm not the creator of the policy? I'm not even high ranking enough for my feedback to have weight. I've already said that that's the policy, and he's not happy with it, why did I continue to make him understand? So eventually I just said, I agree with you, which is true though. Like, I do agree with you. I do agree. It does make sense. And as a school nurse, I do get nervous. About, when an EpiPen is used and we're waiting for the delivery of the next one. So I don't want to get into trouble, but that's that. And that is our topic for tonight. Of course, I could talk for ages with regard to dealing with difficult people, but I think what I've shared is important, all right? It is, don't blink. Look at them with just one of their eyes at all times. After they talk, quiet, respond a few words as possible, and act like you're not bothered. And tell them, hey, I've got other patients to go to. Okay? And one more thing is, never mind. I can't really say it out loud. All I can say is this: is that if it's not urgent, don't do it too quickly. Okay, don't do it too quickly, because if you do things, because initially, when you do things very quickly, that's not urgent and not medically necessary to be done quickly, you are training them that that's the you are communicating to them that that's the standard. We do things really fast, and then when the next nurse comes and things get busy, they're now comparing, hey, why did the other nurse do things quicker than you, da, 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 da. And then what if when you go on duty the next day and you cover the same patient, but then things are busy and you're slower now, you're gonna get into trouble, and it's your it's your fault, because you've set the standard of like, oh, quick service, right? So all this to say, be fair to all of your patients. if you have free time, make sure you allocate it to other patients too. All right, so before we wrap up, so it's already 20 minutes, Bianca, do you have any questions for me? If you're still live on the chat. All right, I don't think I hear from you, but it's fine. I do appreciate you coming in, and next live is on Monday. Stay in touch with that, and I hope you learned something from this session and that you had fun. Okay, until next time, guys. Yes? Okay. Do you have any questions? Any questions, Bianca? Before I go, before we end this topic? How about you, Bianca? Do you have anything to share about difficult people? But I think you're Bianca's my friend from college, by the way, from College of Nursing. And we also worked at the same hospital in the Philippines. We worked in London together, and now we're in the States, although Bianca is in Chicago. Won't that look deliver an air of fear? Fear? What do you mean? I don't think I see fear. Bianca says, I try to be laissez-faire. Correct. Very good. Just let it be, you know. It'll pass. It'll pass. Don't add fuel to the fire, as what they say. All right? All right. Now, I know we're past 20 minutes of the session. Thank you for joining me. I hope you guys have a lovely weekend. And remember, if you've got more questions or you want something to share, comment down below because this video is going to save. And just go back to it if you want to review, okay? All right, guys. Good night and bye.